Don Michaelman, and want to welcome the audience to our meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission here. I hereby call to order the December 9th, 2021 public hearing of the City of Prescott Planning Commission. Commission members, would you introduce yourself, starting with Stan?
Yes, good morning, Stan Goligoski.
Greg Lozelle.
Good morning, Tom Hutchins.
Ted Gambogi.
Butch Tracy.
George?
George, you muted yourself again.
Well, we have George Lee quasi by Zoom, unknown for sure, but we will proceed from there. We'll have Mayor Good attending here. Thank you, Mayor, on that. If you could check your cell phones, make sure they're on mute or turned off, would appreciate that. This is an open public hearing and is being tape recorded and videotaped by the city. The proceedings are being televised by representatives of the public media, the public, local cable and/or radio stations, and may also be rebroadcast. The number of commission members is 7, and I think we have 7 present on this, and will require at least 4 votes for a majority. As some individuals may be attending this meeting remotely, all parties wishing to be heard, including commission members, are required to state their name prior to speaking in order to ensure accurate minutes. Members of the public, when called upon, are required to state their name and address for the record so that we may know who is speaking and be able to contact them at a later date if necessary on that. So the first item on the agenda is the minutes from the October 28th, 2021 meeting. Are there any corrections? If no corrections, is there a motion concerning the minutes? The minutes may die.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from our last P&Z meeting.
We have a motion to approve them. Is there a second?
I'll second Stan Goligoski.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Kaylee, would you go ahead and call the roll on that for the vote?
Butch Tracy,
Yes.
Ted Gambogi,
Yes.
Thomas Hutchison,
Yes.
Greg Lozelle,
Yes.
Stan Goligoski,
Yes.
George Lee. George, are you able to raise your hand on Zoom? I guess we'll have to proceed without. And Don Michaelman?
Yes, and we will proceed now based upon we have 6 commission members present on this because we don't know for sure about George on that. Okay? Next thing on the agenda is PLN 21-003, preliminary plat of Forest Highlands Townhome Subdivision, a 22-lot townhouse subdivision on a 1.225 acre parcel located on the southwest corner of White Spar Road and Forest Highlands. Site zoning is BG, Business General. Property owner, Prescott Highlands, LLC. APN 109-12038. Tammy, how you doing?
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman, members of the Commission. Tammy DeWitt, Community Planner with the City of Prescott. The subject property we're looking at is at the corner of Forest Highlands and White Spar Road. Currently there is a restaurant on the property in Alberto's. They are in the process of moving that restaurant, and they will be demoing that building to proceed with this project. The subject property is zoned business general commercial. In the business general zoning district, you are allowed single family and multifamily zoning. So this use is allowed for the proposed townhome development as a multifamily development, and they meet the density requirements and all other requirements for our land development code. Here's a picture of the property. This is the corner here of Forest Highlands and White Spar. Then this is the back area of the lot, which is currently vacant. So a summary of the project, this is a 22 lot townhome subdivision being proposed on 1.225 acres, zone business general. The homes will be 2-story with a 2-car garage. Proposed amenities are a spool, which is a spa/pool, a barbecue area, and the ramada. So here's the proposed plat of what's being laid, how they're going to be laid out. These are townhomes. They are attached, and they will be platted as single-family residential lots. So they will be bought by people. We do have the common areas over here. And here's a proposed rendering that was given to us when we did the preliminary code review. What they're proposing, these are going to look like. The livable area is up top. You have a 2-car garage down below, and there's also some livable space downstairs. Usually another bedroom in the back here in the patio area. Per the land development code, when we're looking at preliminary plats, there are some issues for consideration, and this was also spelled out in your packet in the staff report. The purposes for subdivision regulations, we want plan development, cohesive development, requirements of section 9.10.6 standards for subdivision approval. This meets all our requirements, and everything was submitted and approved. The physical arrangement of the subdivision, it does meet all our regulations for the townhome development in regards to access, fire access, and utilities. So there's no issues there. They've addressed all those concerns that came up during the review. Adequacy of street and thoroughfare rights-of-way and alignment. This meets all our requirements, like I said, for fire and public works. Compliance of the streets and thoroughfares with the adopted plans and existing street pattern in the area. On this plat, they are proposing the main access will be right here off of White Spar. That's going to be the main access. And the access onto Forest Highlands will be for emergency only. Oop. Touchy there. Adequacy of easements for proposed or future utility service and surface drainage, and suitability of lot size and area with respect to the minimum requirements for the type of sanitary sewage disposal proposed. This will be hooked up to city sewer and water. Each one will have an individual meter, and everything's been platted per public works requirements in regards to easements and such. So that concludes my presentation. I'm free to answer any questions, and the applicant is also here to answer any questions.
Tammy, I have a
Could I
question.
see the access map again, please?
Sure. So this is White Spar right here. This will be this is the main access. And then this is an emergency access onto Forest Highlands.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ted?
I had my magnifying glass out a lot yesterday. Where is that? What's it called? The spool?
It's
Where is that going to be located?
back in this area, in the common area.
Okay.
It's not noted on the plat. It's just a tract for that type of use.
Other questions for staff?
Yeah,
Tom?
Tammy, do you have any idea how many square feet these houses are going to be?
Oh, I'll defer that to the applicant to address. I believe it was in their
Between
request.
1287 and
Yeah, 1287 to 1405. They have 2 or 3 different layouts that they're proposing for these.
Other questions for Tammy?
Yeah, I think about putting the big P, the planning hat on, rather than zoning. In the planning sense of this, I'm wondering about affordability again. Any sense of what the going price is going to be for these?
Well, that's not a planning question. That's a market-driven question. We have no regulations over that, and we can't regulate that. But I can defer that to the applicant to address when he comes up. These will be individually owned by people. This is considered an infill development. We have vacant property here, and so we're looking at this as an infill development for a need that's needed in the area.
Other questions for Tammy? Got one, Tammy.
George,
I have one question, Tammy, for benefit of maybe people online. Could you explain what infill means?
Infill is that we have an area that's currently, we'll go back to the imagery, that could help. So infill development, we have this whole back area that's undeveloped in the middle of an already developed area. So infill is that we're going back, instead of spreading out, we're coming back in and filling in, which is better planning.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And George has his hand raised. George? Yeah, unmute yourself. Okay. Well, we'll see if he comes
guess
back
not.
on.
Question, in looking at the proposed drawings of the townhouses there, there's not going to be parking available right in front of each townhouse because of garages backing in and out.
Correct.
And
We have-
how many parking spaces do we have on the property up there? It looks like there's 2 spots for parking.
Correct. Each unit has 2 spots. Then we have these areas here. There's an area right here, and there's an area over here with additional parking spaces to meet the parking requirements for guest parking.
How many spaces are those?
So we required 22. There should be about 11 other additional parking spaces for guest
We
parking.
have a half parking space for
Per
each
unit.
unit
For guest parking,
for guest parking.
yes, per code.
And that
That meets the code requirements. Basically, you're required a half space per unit for guest parking, but each unit itself requires 2 parking spaces, and the garage counts for that.
seems a little low to have for guest parking, but if that's what we have for code right now. That's what we have on that.
Yep.
Any other questions for Tammy? Would the applicant like to make a statement?
Chairman Mickelman, members of the commission, my name's Jerry Palmer. I'm with Palmer Architects. Our office is at 4545 North 36th Street, Phoenix, Arizona. I'm also a partner in the development, and I also have the construction company, Palmer Diamond, that will be building this project.
Could you pull the microphone a little closer, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm no stranger to Prescott. My family's been here for quite a few years. In 1944, my grandfather was the coach of the Prescott High Badgers. Last time they won the state championship. And I still have many family members here, and Prescott has been our second home for many years, and in the future we hope to make it our full-time residence. But what we're looking at here is 22 units. They're between 1,440 and about 1,480 square feet. The price points are in the range of the high 3s to low 4s. We have reservations on all the units at this point, but we haven't gone into permanent money. We're just taking reservations. The units are 2 stories. There's 2-car garages in each of them. And they also each have small private yards. So the idea is you park in the garage, you walk around to the front of the project, and there's a private courtyard, and you enter into the unit there. 2 stories, less than 30 feet, I think will be approximately 28 feet high. We're trying to do it of kind of a mountain contemporary type design. We're fire resistant materials to meet the forest analogies. And we hope to do, a very nicely landscaped project with the amenity package that Tammy mentioned of a spool, which is oversized spa that doubles as a pool and spa, a ramada, and some barbecues. And then mountain type plant design, some pines and some other compatible trees to the environment up here. If there's any other questions you have, I'd be glad to answer those questions.
Questions for the applicant?
I have a question. And it has nothing to do with my review, but just interest. In the photo of the rendering of the development, it kind of showed a wood surface. Are you saying that is wood or is not wood?
No, it's actually a cementitious material that simulates wood, and it's actually has a fire rating. It's non-combustible as well.
Thank you.
And it's maintenance free, basically. That's why we like it. We're using it in quite a few products right now.
Sure looks like wood.
It does. Fortunately.
Any other questions for the applicant?
George, did you have a question? You're unmuted now.
Oh, there's George.
George?
I guess not. I do have a question, Mr. Palmer, if you could.
Yes.
On your cover letter of 6/10/21, you mentioned there's going to be 4 buildings, but the map has 3 buildings. Was there a change in plan?
Yes, we made a change. We made the driveways wider to meet the utility requirements. And in doing so, we combined the one building on the west side into one instead of 2 buildings.
Okay. And the unit size were smaller on your cover letter than what you just presented to us. Were you
No.
able to expand the size of the units?
No, the units have remained pretty much the same.
Oh, because we have ranging from 1,200 to
No,
1,400.
the units are 1430 to about 1480,
Okay.
plus or minus.
All right. Just kind of curious on that.
Okay, yeah, they're 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's hard to get that in 1,200 square feet.
All right. Any other questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to make a comment. This goes back to when I was on city council, and this is a perfect project. Gene Wilcox and I always touted the infilling of existing lots before looking outside annexation. So this is a great project. Thank you.
Thank you. We looked for 3 years to find a relatively flat site in Prescott.
Prescott.
And being a builder, I've done so many hillside homes. I prefer flat sites.
If no other questions, thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
taking time
Thank you very much.
on this. Any further discussion, or would someone care to make a motion?
I'll move to recommend approval of PLN 21-003 preliminary plat of Forest Highlands Townhome subdivision.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Greg Lozelle, I'll second.
Okay, a motion and second. Any further discussion? Tom?
I'm repeating myself, but I wish this was affordable housing.
Okay. Kaylee, would you go ahead and call the roll vote?
George Lee? You can raise your hand in the video if you agree, or thumbs down if you don't. Okay.
We'll treat it as being 6 commission members present then.
Okay. Butch Tracy,
I would approve that.
Ted Gambogi,
Approve.
Thomas Hutchison,
Approve?
Greg Lozelle,
Yes.
Stan Goligoski,
Yes.
Don Michaelman.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Any staff updates?
So we don't have any items for your next meeting at the end of the month, so you're off for the rest of the year.
That's our Christmas gift?
Yes, your Christmas gift.
That's why I wore a red jacket today.
We didn't have any Christmas cookies.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Donuts.
High maintenance bunch. High maintenance bunch.
And we'll let you know about the beginning of January, way beforehand, if we have any items.
I actually have an update on that one. Good morning, Commissioners. Brent Stotler, Community Development Director. You may recall back at the end of September, we had Ms. Leslie Dornfeld of Planet Communities Consulting come in and introduce you to a couple of plans that are underway in North Prescott and the Granite Creek Corridor. We are inviting her back on January 13th. She will be delivering to you the draft final Granite Creek Corridor Plan, and that plan actually correlates to the trail improvement planning that's been happening along Granite Creek for a number of years. So we're excited to bring her in and introduce you to the final draft of the plan. You guys can provide feedback or comments. We may have materials for you in the interim as well before your packets come out. So just wanted to let you know.
Will Leslie be attending in person or
Yes,
by Zoom? Okay.
she will be. She will be here.
All right.
Right. And other than that, we wish you guys very blessed holidays. Thanks for all you do.
I will therefore, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for